more on managing remotely. And this time I want to share with you 4 tips, 4 ideas for motivating remote teams. So let's get started. Number 1, listen. Possibly an obvious, but very important. In our day-to-day communication on the telephone, through the various sessions we have through video links, etc. In our day-to-day, listen to people, pick up on stuff they say. It's very easy to miss stuff and probe a little bit. When I'm doing training with managers and we're doing things like appraisal training and one-to-ones and all kinds of training where we're involving listening, one of the things I say is be nosy but not intrusive. We have a right to ask. You're a manager. So if somebody says something about something they're unhappy about, something that's going on, you have a right to say, what do you mean by that? Tell me more. And sometimes to even say, who said that? Because it's important. People may not always want to share, but give them the opportunity. Obviously, some things are too personal. We don't ask about those. But do listen. It makes a difference. And it leads to point number 2. So tip number 2 is resolve issues. I do a lot of work around motivation. And one of the things that we've learned is this. One of the biggest demotivators is unresolved issues. Sometimes it's just not having the tools to do the job. Sometimes it's people feel that my one-to-one's been put off again, or I didn't get the support I needed. I've been asking for help and now it's getting stressful. So very important to resolve those issues, no matter how small, how large. If they say things in those meetings that you have, those telephone calls that you have remotely, pick it up, and if you can, resolve it. I've done lots of situations, lots of surveys, and asked questions around what demotivates. And I've measured people's motivation in organizations. And when I ask what would help improve motivation, it's amazing that 80 to 90% of the things they ask for could be easily resolved as quick wins. So go for it and resolve those that you can. If we can't, it takes longer. We're honest about it. But so listen, resolve issues. The next one is communicate. So important. People need to know what's going on. And when we're at a distance and we're not seeing people all the time, it's easy sometimes to forget they're there. No, I don't think any manager intentionally does not communicate, misses out on communication. We don't do it intentionally, but we do forget. And so think about that one in terms of communication. I remember taking a group of managers away for a weekend retreat to look at strategy and plan a strategy. It was actually a Friday and a Saturday. And when we arrived at the hotel and we sat down for our first meeting and I was facilitating, my first question was, do the guys back at work know we're here? And the answer was yes. And then my next question was, do they know why we're here? And the answer was no. And then my next question was, why will they think that we're here? And the response was redundancies. Whenever people are starved of information, they will fill the void themselves and they will decide what that lack of information should be. And usually it's negative. So make sure we communicate. Sometimes sitting in the staff canteen, people will be chatting away and one person will say something about what's happening in the organization. I see they're introducing this. And somebody else sitting there will say, well, I didn't know. But there again, we're always the last to know. Be the manager that makes your people the first to know. Then the last one is encourage. Staff surveys tend to score low on communication and encouragement. Staff always seem to say they're the things we don't get enough of. Praise and encouragement. So praise people, give them praise whenever you can, just little calls. In our calls, you pick something up, say, well done, thank you. It goes a long way. And sometimes that praise does not necessarily have to be about work. I've always loved picking up on when people just throw something out informally and they'll say, I was doing this, or I was doing this outside of work. Say, do you do that? Brilliant, well done. And people appreciate that. A little thought for you. If you really want to get people engaged and working for you and giving of their best, help them feel good about themselves. Everybody wants to feel good about themselves, so help them. So they're my 4 thoughts, my 4 tips and ideas for motivating remote teams. Listen, resolve issues, communicate, encourage and praise. Good luck with it.